following video is a developing story, and as such, we will be discussing difficult topics. Viewer discretion is advised.
A YouTuber from southern Utah has been accused of child abuse.
Police say this is the house a young child escaped from and went to a neighbor's house asking for food and water.
A Utah woman who gave online parenting advice through a once popular YouTube channel has now been arrested on suspicion of aggravated child abuse.
In 2015, Ruby Franke launched her 8-passenger YouTube channel, which followed the lives of her husband, and their 6 children.
Some days parenting requires uncomfortable conversations.
Franke stated that she started the channel as a way to just enjoy being with the kids as they are right now. The channel quickly grew a following as people tuned in to see Franke parent her children, cook them meals, and homeschool their eldest son. As the Franke's YouTube channel grew, the picture darkened. Viewers became more critical of their parenting style and started to see it as overly authoritarian and sometimes cruel. In the summer of 2020, their eldest son revealed in one vlog that he had his bedroom taken away after playing pranks on his little brother and was sleeping on a beanbag. Some viewers said they consider this to be child abuse.
My bedroom was taken away for 7 months and then you give it back like a couple weeks ago.
I don't think our viewers know that.
You've been sleeping on a beanbag.
I've been sleeping on a beanbag since October. And they gave my room back like 2 weeks ago.
Investigative YouTube channels then started looking through other past content and highlighted moments they said concerned them. In one video, Franke said she wouldn't bring a packed lunch in for her daughter, who was just 6 years old at the time, because the child forgot to pick it up before school.
But I responded and just said Eve was responsible for making her lunches in the morning, and she actually told me she did pack a lunch. So the natural outcome is she's just going to need to be hungry. And hopefully nobody gives her food and nobody steps in and gives her a lunch.
At the time, the Frankes pushed back on the narrative, accusing the internet of stirring up, quote, drama, and taking clips out of context. People continued to circulate clips that they found troubling, including Franke threatening to withhold dinner from her son when he and his brother were play fighting.
I'm only going to say it one more time, and then you're going to lose the privilege to eat dinner.
She took away Christmas from her youngest children due to, quote, selfishness and egregious choices they made, not giving the children breakfast until they did their chores.
But I told the kids, I said, I'm not even going to let you eat breakfast until you get your chores done.
Telling them they didn't deserve personal space and threatening to throw away or destroy her children's prized possessions.
I'm going to take the scissors, look at me, and I'm going to cut its head off.
Grandma will be so mad.
So what are you going to do?
In June 2022, Franke announced she was joining a new YouTube channel called Connexions with a woman named Jody Hildebrandt.
I'm Jody Hildebrandt.
Hildebrandt is a therapist whose license was put on probation by the Utah Clinical Mental Health Counselor Licensing Board for 18 months back in January 2012. Franke and Hildebrandt's channel caused concern among viewers. In one video, Ruby said children don't deserve privacy or unconditional love. In another, Hildebrandt appears to suggest women who are raped had a, quote, choice.
Because everybody feels like they have a right to just do whatever they want. And then they have these consequences, these outcomes of STDs or pregnancy or rape. And they don't want to take any responsibility for their participation in it.
The 8 Passengers YouTube channel had 2.5 million subscribers at its peak, but was taken offline earlier this year for unknown reasons.
Wonder where I've been on my vlogs? You wonder why I left YouTube? It's to save my kids. No amount of money. I'm telling you, I was making millions. And I left it because my kids were being hurt. With entitlement, they were being hurt. With people's advice, and they didn't have a mother up the front saying, I don't care what the world's opinion is. This is the truth, and this is where I stand. And fortunately, I had a chance. I had them in my home long enough to do it, and I'm not going to lose them.
And in the end, each of us will account to God for how we protected kids.
I could be dishonest, and I think I'm getting away with it because nobody knows. It might be 5 years, 10 years. I might even take it to the grave with me.
Ruby Franke's parenting style is now being called child abuse, and not just online. She's been charged, along with her business partner, 6 counts of abuse, including starving and torturing 2 of her minor kids who escaped the home, were malnourished, injured, allegedly, had duct tape on their limbs.
On August 30th of this year at 9:33 p.m., Franke and Hildebrandt were arrested. Officials said that the arrest came after a report of a malnourished and wounded child asking for help. The Santa Clara Ivans Public Safety Department said in a press release Thursday it received a report about a juvenile in need of help at 10:50 a.m. Wednesday morning. The juvenile was described as, quote, emaciated and malnourished, with open wounds and duct tape around their extremities. The article continues, the condition of the juvenile was so severe that they were seen by Santa Clara Ivans EMS and transported to local area hospital. When police were examining the home, authorities reportedly found another emaciated child who was also taken to the hospital. 4 other minors were taken into custody. The arrest report for Franke and Hildebrandt says that Franke was filming YouTube videos in their home days earlier and had, quote, knowledge of the abuse, malnourishment, and neglect. Eldest daughter Shari Franke, 20, posted about her mother's arrest in an Instagram story on Wednesday night. Shari Franke, who previously posted that she was not in contact with her immediate family, shared an image of police officers with the caption, finally. Many neighbors began speaking out after the arrest was made. A female neighbor who spoke anonymously claimed that a wellness check was performed on Franke's home following her September 22 call to Child Protective Services, but no one answered the door. Quote, I'm really angry because I spoke up. Other people spoke up, and nothing happened, the woman said. If people knew the amount of tears and time spent talking with law enforcement and CPS over the last year, I want people to understand that. And I want those kids to know that, because I think they thought they were abandoned. A male neighbor told NBC News that, quote, she would say things like, they're not repenting correctly, which is a Mormon term for they're sinning, he recalled. The resident went on to claim that Ruby would leave the little ones home alone for weeks, which prompted their youngest daughter to knock on doors looking for playmates. Ruby's husband, who she shares 6 children with, was seen at their family home on Saturday. It was believed that he had been kicked out of the house last year. A man was also seen at the house removing the YouTube branding from the van parked outside. Kevin's attorney, Randy S. Kester, told Page 6 his client's urgent focus is simply to keep his children together under his fatherly care. However, many have criticized Kevin's whereabouts and his prior involvement with Connexions.
One of the allegations is that the kid wasn't allowed to sleep in a bed for 7 months. Why did he think that was okay?
I can't comment on that. I have a duty to my client, to the court, not to comment on that question.
But that would have been while he was there. That's all I'm saying. Did he have a different feeling about parenting that's changed at some point?
I'm not certain when that happened, but my client's was not around the children when this happened this summer.
As the story continues to unfold, we have to commend the many viewers who took notice and were concerned about the well-being of the children involved. Publicly addressing concerns about child abuse in family vlogging can hold creators accountable for their actions. This accountability may lead to a reassessment of their content and parenting practices. By raising awareness about the potential dangers and ethical issues related to family vlogging, it can educate both content creators and viewers about responsible and ethical content creation. It sends a message that the online community is vigilant and concerned about the well-being of children. It can also offer a sense of solidarity to those who have faced similar situations. It's important to approach such situations with sensitivity and rely on credible evidence when making accusations. If you suspect child abuse in a family vlogging context, consider reporting your concerns to relevant authorities in your jurisdiction to ensure the proper investigation is conducted.
And we're like locked arms, like this. Nothing's getting through us.
Yeah.
See those kids behind us? You got to get through us to get to them.
What is your client's take on the behavior of the mother?
Well, I'm sort of under certain constraints not to speak ill of anyone involved in this case. We've had hearings with the juvenile court, and we all agreed that we wouldn't speak ill of one another or respond to allegations that have been leveled just in an effort to try to keep the kids out of social media and sort of tamp this thing down, to do what we can to get these kids back to a good life. They're still young. They've got their whole lives ahead of us.
I'm with you. All due deference to the kids. The horse is out of the barn, all right? Your client let the mother put the kids' lives and all the discipline all over the place on YouTube. So that decision was just fine when they were monetizing it. Now, all of a sudden, they want standards and they want us to be careful about the kids. The careful question here goes to whether or not they were careful with the kids.